Good morning, viewers. Sage here. Welcome to the Executive Corner Expert Talks by Kalkine TV. Today's guest is Mr. Mark McCrindle, the principal at McCrindle's, and we have just seen unprecedented times. It's almost certain that no one was prepared for what the last 18 months has had to offer. So is it possible to plan for what the future will provide? In today's show, we'll learn how a group of researchers and communication specialists who create a clearer picture of trends that inform strategic thinking. So Mr. Mark McCrindle is the principal at McCrindle, and welcome to the show, Mark. With your
Thanks so much, Sadie, with you.
Thanks for making time to chat to us today. With your experience in researching social trends, we're happy that you have been able to join us. Let's get started. A lot of managers must get very nervous these days when setting risk management strategies. It is so impressive to know that your wide range of services from national consumer studies to quick turnaround online surveys and even brand tracking analysis. McCrindle does it all from what I can see. What is the company's mission?
Well, it's to empower human flourishing, and that is best done by understanding our times, analysing the context in which we're all operating, and then we help organisations respond to those trends. So whether they be companies or community groups, whether they be not-for-profits or commercial organisations, by understanding their industry, the changes that are impacting them, and clients are saying actively to the change.
Fantastic. I mean, if you are able to help businesses to do that, that is definitely something to be proud of. In the past year, a lot of organisations would have loved a crystal ball to guide them. How did McCrindle rise up to the challenge invoked by COVID-19 and the restrictions that were involved?
Well, we responded by using some great digital research technologies. We were interviews, and we particularly focused on the impacts of COVID. We conducted a number of studies of how Australians were tracking during COVID, and a lot of those reports are freely accessible on our website. But that gave a real insight into how we were travelling, and I think some of the insights helped organisations in responding to these times.
That's great to know that people can access these reports from your website, because I think being well informed is definitely one way we can try and approach the future. What can we expect on the future outlook of the emerging generation of wealth accumulators, please?
Well, the emerging generations will be the largest generations in our history. We've now got generations Y and Z comprising more than half of the force. So the generations born since 1980, are definitely the key wealth accumulators. But Generation Z are born since 2010, and they'll be the largest global generation in history, and will be key influences as they form part of the largest middle class in the world ever as well. So understanding these new and emerging digital global consumers is going to be key for every organisation and their future.
Yes, well, I guess a lot of people have used the last 18 months as a great learning experience and how they can make their businesses more risk proof. So how do we plan for an uncertain future? Apart from just being more well-informed, organisations come to McCrindle to gain the outcomes of greater knowledge and insights into what you call the 3 Ps. Would you mind elaborating a little bit for us today on the 3 Ps?
Sure. Well, the first P is people, and we can understand people through demographic analysis, even modelling of those demographics, so that we know what populations will be in the mix of populations. So understanding people through social trends is important. The second P are products. And so if we can understand the responses consumers have to products, or what clients are thinking of the products and services being offered. That helps us all make sure we're delivering the best products that are meeting the needs of the ever-changing consumer. And the third P are places. And so understanding not just the people and the products, but the places that we live is important. And that's done at our changing communities and where we're living and what those catchments are looking like. And by understanding the places with the people and the products, we've got a good understanding of our communities, our markets, and our future.
That's fantastic to hear. I suppose one way to approach the uncertain future is to really keep a clear focus and just to hone that lens. Today, having a clearer, fresher and more useful way to communicate is important as we see digitisation getting more popular. It's getting more competitive as well. And it's not just about serving your customers, it's about creating an experience. So what is your innovation strategy?
Well, for us, it's about not only innovating in terms of how we conduct research, but importantly, how we communicate that research. And for us, we've always been about not just conducting world-class research, but communicating it in innovative and consumable ways. So things like infographics and visual reports and a report that sits on a shelf or in an inbox. We want to make sure we communicate those insights in ways that can be seen and not just read. So that's sometimes done through boardroom briefings and presentations, and of course visual output forms. But innovating in that sense, innovating how we communicate, not just what we communicate, is key for the future.
Fantastic. That's very inspiring. Sounds like a great way to keep your mind open when looking at old information through a fresh perspective. Thanks for making time for us today, Mark, and that's all the time we have for today. Was there any last comments you'd like to share with our viewers here at 𝐾ALKINE?
Well, great to communicate, and obviously, the audience is tuned in to what's next, and I think that's key to understand the trends, respond proactively, because either we get hit by the waves of change or we can surf those waves. And by understanding the trends, we're best positioned to do that, and I'm sure all the listeners will do that well. So
absolutely. Thank you very much, Mark. Wonderful, positive way to end the discussion there. And viewers, if you've just joined us, we just had a very interesting discussion with Mr. Mark McCrindle, the principal at McCrindle. And the full interview will be available via the YouTube channel, 𝐾ALKINE Media. And please keep watching 𝐾ALKINE TV for more expert talks and live market reviews. Stay apprised and invest wise with 𝐾ALKINE.